I always thought it would be cool if you could go back and listen to the day-to-day of today's highest achievers as it happened, as opposed to 30 years later after they've made it. I believe there's a giant disconnect between ground zero and the top floor, because we only see the top floor, and the top floor only talks about the top. How valuable would that be? And so it goes without saying, but I believe I'll make it there. And this is a documented journey through each level. My name is Bryson Sessions, and you are listening to the Bed Podcast.
So I'm foreshadowing here because I know exactly how this is going to go. But despite the lack of direction and organization in this show, I've been thinking lots about what I'm about to talk about today. And it's pretty much just self-identity and kind of the things that we associate ourselves with for the sake of putting some kind of tag with us, So, and what sparked all of this, well, most of it, I should say, is my decision to, I'm not going to not ever take an ice bath again, but let's say pause. My decision to pause or to lessen the priority of ice baths, because I've let that become how I see myself, my identity. I'm like, hey, if I don't do this, I'm weak. I'm a pussy. I'm not going to achieve my goals, because if I can't sit in cold water for 5 minutes, then I'm a piece of shit. And I've let those thoughts just consume my brain. And that's what the battle was for so long, where I'm like, okay, this is great. I got to keep going. I think this is a big reason why I'm so, resilient in the shit that I do. And I think there's truth to that. But I also think I took it to a level that didn't matter to anybody but myself. Nobody benefits from me taking an ice bath except me. And you can argue the fact that I am even getting benefits because it stresses me out. The fact that I never want to do it is a good thing, but also not the greatest in another light. So never want to do it. It stresses me out. It's such an obstacle in my schedule at the moment. And it forces me to, I don't know. So anyway, I'm thinking about that and I'm like, okay, so I'm the ice bath guy. I've taken 235 of these fuckers in a row. Haven't missed a day. This is tough. I'm tough. And I can't let the streak die, otherwise I'm weak. So that was my mental dialogue right there. And so I'm going to go to 250 and I'm going to call it. So I'm going to go to 250 straight days in the ice bath. And then I'm going to, if I want to take one, then I'll take one. If I don't, then I won't. That's what I'm going to do. So we've got that. And so I was thinking about that, and it's liberating, because I don't have to be that guy, I don't have to be the guy that, takes ice baths and does this or tracks that or has a certain streak with this or whatever. I don't have to. These are just limits that I put on myself for no other reason than just for myself, That's it. Like, nobody told me I have to take an ice bath every day. Nobody tells me I have to eat so much protein. I mean, I tell myself that. I guess that's the point of what I'm saying here. Nobody's telling me I can or can't do anything. Nobody said, hey, you're never going to make it. You're never going to do this. Nobody said that to me. So everything that I believe now, all my behaviors, they're just a result of my own thoughts and my own beliefs and what I believe to be true in the world of me, right? And, I don't know, I just had like a mini epiphany today. I don't have to do that. And it's again, like going back to it's funny because I'm walking through a memorial and I'm seeing all these flags, but it's liberating, man, to think that I don't have to do these things. The only reason why I was taking an ice bath for so long was because I wanted my streak to go on forever. And I wanted to have something crazy, make one YouTube video with a nice, crazy thumbnail that says, I took an ice bath for 5,000 days straight or something like that, And then it's even funnier to think about it that way because it's like, I'm doing this for a video. But, so anyway, I think about that with the ice bath. And I've talked about this a couple episodes ago, but I think about that with the ice bath. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't got to be the ice bath guy. I can take that out of my routine for the time being. I can focus on other shit. I don't have to expend mental energy thinking about that, figuring out how I'm going to get home to do that and do it before bed, or how I can't do it after a workout, whatever. And then I think about other things, like I track all my food, and these are just things that whatever. These are my goals on a day to day. And tracking food has become so simple and so quick for me. It's not even a thing, but yet I still force myself to track it and make sure I do it, and it's just not the end of the world if I don't. And I've just led myself to believe that it is. Same with the eating protein and stuff. And I like the consistency that I have, that's for sure. And I still will track my food, but it's not going to be the end of the world if I'm 1 gram short, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I haven't, but I don't want that to happen. And same with the podcast. The podcast doesn't even have to be something that I track anymore. Like, I'm going to do it. It's very simple for me to do. It's like, I'm not. So I think about, so for context, I've got ice bath, record podcast, track everything I eat 225 grams of protein, and drink a gallon of water per day. Those are like the 5 things that I've been doing for a year now. Some of them closer to a year. And that's just been my identity. Like, that's the 5 things that I do every day, and I get them done, and that's me. If I don't, then I'm a piece of shit. That's just what I've believed. And it's not true. So when I think about kind of changing my life up a little bit, it's like I said, it's liberating. I don't have to do these things. It's not anything. It's just what I want to do. And it might even be the way that I'm tracking everything, because I have streaks, and it's like I don't want to lose the streak, so I keep on. And I think streaks are great because it keeps going. You keep everything rolling, because it's like, I don't want to fail on day 29. I got to go to 30, so it's 30. Who fails on 29? Or who stops on 29? And I do think there's a lot of value in streaks and in tracking progress in that regard. I think a better way to do it would be to set goals as far as numbers go, and hit those numbers. And then after that, it's not life or death. And I don't feel like a piece of shit if I don't, or if I do, follow whatever I'm doing. So in the future, I would take, for example, 30 days of an ice bath in a row. After that, just a challenge for myself, just to build that, because I don't have to go 250 days in a row with literally everything I do ever in life forever. That's silly. Yet that's what I was believing, right? So it's kind of funny that I'm connecting the dots here, because in the program that I've got in development, I'm trying to incorporate more mental toughness and more disciplinary programming into it, not just training and nutrition, because I believe mental discipline, or discipline period, and the ability to persevere through struggles and hard times and whatever, I think that's ultimately what makes the results long lasting, and it gives you the ability to replicate them forever. So I'm trying to incorporate that into my program. So anyway, we have this thing called a Vice Fast. I didn't come up with it. Darren Hardy did, author of The Compound Effect, which is a great book. Such a great book. I've read it like 4 times. And it talks about this thing called a Vice Fast. And all a Vice Fast is a 30-day fast from something that might have quite a grip over you. So think of things like, so for me, that's an energy drink, I'm not addicted by any means, but I just love to drink them. So I would check myself often on those things to make sure that I'm in control. Sounds so funny, but I just got to make sure that a little tin can is not in control over me. For other people, that might be alcohol or smoking or, I don't know, porn or whatever. For me, or for in this example, it's called a Vice Fast. It's just 30 days. You just pick something, 30 days, you abstain from that. And then after that, if I have something, I go for it. Maybe that's eating out, maybe that's social media, whatever, Kind of what I'm doing now. So I've got social media, no caffeine, no other drinks outside of water, nothing. That's it, just to challenge myself. And that's all it has to be. It doesn't have to be 250 days. So then I was actually using ChatGPT. I was like, what's the opposite of a vice fast? Like, if I'm going to incorporate something, because a vice fast is too fast, I want to binge on something else. What can I binge on? So I was like, what's the opposite? And it came up with virtue feast, which I thought was pretty clever. So we've got virtue feast, which is just opposite. So instead of abstaining, you're adhering or implementing or adding, so you've got, so if you're abstaining from, we'll say, social media or something like that, because you feel like it harms whatever, like you don't have to have a reason. You just want to abstain from something. With a virtue feast, which I don't even know if that's what I'm going to call it. That's what ChatGPT coined it. And it might even be a thing out there. I don't know. But that could be journaling, or that could be doing a random act of kindness. That could be talking to a stranger. Maybe that's a little bit harder for you. So the idea is to make it something that's hard for you, or it's simple to add in and make your life better. It's just a really easy commitment you can make. So like journaling, writing, reading, stretching, meditation, things like that. Things you can just add in. And it doesn't have to be for 250 days in a row. But the goal is to do it consistently and practice discipline by committing to it for a certain amount of time, for an extended period of days or weeks or months, whatever. Because I think that's a core, that's the foundation of 75 hard and live hard. You have 75 days in a row, which I would say is a long time. It's a long streak to go doing so many different things in a row. And you don't have to keep on doing it. I mean, I haven't. As soon as 75 days was up, and same with phase 1 and 2, I stopped the second workout immediately. I was just fucking done with that, But I'm proud of myself. I did it. I know I can do it. But I don't have to do it every single day for the rest of time forever to prove to myself that I'm strong. And it's so funny that I say this, dude, because I recorded a show like 5 days into my 75 hard attempt last year. And I'm talking about how I want to, because I had a buddy who was not trying to talk me out of doing it, but really just pressing me on like, why do I want to do it? And I was like, dude, I just want to prove to myself that I can do this. I want to prove to myself that I'm tough, and I'm a man of my word, and I can follow through with shit. And I did. I think I took that principle and ran with it, not understanding the foundation, which was keeping your word, but not keeping you, I don't know how to say this without backtracking, not feeling like you have to be permanent with whatever decision you made for the rest of time, forever and ever, And for the record, I never thought that with an ice bath. I didn't think I was going to take one for the rest of my life forever and ever. But I sure as shit didn't want to treat them. But why? Who gives a fuck? So, anyway, going back to what I was saying, the program has these things implemented in them. So, I'm going to help people figure out what that would be for them. So, they got the Vice Fast, the Virtue Feast, and then there's a thing called a crucible, which what I'm calling it, which is a very hard thing that you do every day. And for me, that would be the ice bath. I never want to get in, but I do. So that would be my crucible for 30 days. And then after 30 days is up, I pick another one. So maybe that's talking to strangers, because that's really hard for me, but it's super beneficial. And then after that, maybe it would be, maybe it would be cold showers. I hate those as well. Maybe after that, it would be like a really hardcore diet where I only eat chicken and rice. I don't know, just something hard as fuck for you, right? For no other reason than to build discipline. And again, not forever. It's just a primer, a programming, a calibration. That's it. So, shit, man, even talking about this stuff just provides so much clarity to me. So, I'm going to do this more often, huh? So anyway, that's the idea. So I had this epiphany that I don't have to do these things for the sake of doing them. I can do whatever I want, but I need to keep growth and development and all these things in line. Otherwise, I think I'll just get too lost in the sauce, if you will, with trying to do something, but then forgetting the reason why I'm doing it, you know? Like am I even exercising mental toughness anymore? It's almost ingrained in my DNA at this point. Like, I will ice fat today. I don't give a fuck. So anyway, I'm going to end the show there. Hopefully this made sense. Trying to keep these under 10 minutes, but it's just tough. I got so much to say. So anyway, that's the show. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening, and quick reminder here. So this podcast doesn't prioritize professionalism or quality at all. It's just meant to be a shoot from the hip type podcast with the intent just to get a quick message out. So some episodes might be inaudible in 30 seconds and others might be 45 minutes and super crisp sounding. So all these are being made so that by episode 7,305, which is 20 years, we can come back and see the entire playbook of how I made it to wherever I'm going. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you soon.